line. Check the radio, pit crew is far from slow. The lights no longer yellow. Ready, steady, go. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 In love with the ride. Burning rubber smells real nice. Fuel it up once or twice. Come on, fast is the way to drive. Crowds all on their feet, not one bothered by the heat. Imagine them in the driver's seat. Checkered flag would be sweet. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Everybody get ready. On your feet. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Crank it up.
When you need the best designs in your fleet of vehicles, there's only one brand name that many trust in. One that makes every car pop out from the rest of the field, and that is Lightning Wrapz. Be sure to check us out on Facebook at Lightning Wrapz. Get yourself a vehicle unlike the rest. Lightning Wrapz, the most affordable designs made at your leisure.
With the ButtKicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. ButtKicker, the future is feeling.
Battle of the Bell Racing League and PTM Racing TV would like to give a big thank you to our sponsors for all this season. For Season 7, we can thank you and appreciate all your support. And now, the championship's on the line here in the Michigan 80, presented in part by Lightning Wrapz. And you heard that loud and clear here, race fans. The championship is on the line. One last drive, one last performance here at a 2-mile-long Michigan International Speedway. It's the Michigan 80, presented in part by Lightning Wrapz, right here on PTM Racing TV. Hello again, everyone, and welcome back here to the show as always. As we get ready for the action at hand, we have got a solid lineup and stake and on board here for you today, as we are about to showcase to you some of the toughest drivers to come out to the track and come out and to perform at their highest level. Your starting lineup looks in the part. The number 84, Matthew Hofford, is outside the Rattlesnake, Robert Kahn, in the 21. Row number 2, the number 87, Kevin Baker, is outside will be the number 3, Jason Henry. In row number 3, then it will be the throttle, Chantel Bottle. In the 5, her outside, Mike Rideout in the 76. And the final driver in the field, the closer, Cindy Taylor, and the 07 NASA machine. Race fans, one more drive, one more fight to survive. It is time to crown us a season champion. Who will it be? The 2 drivers going for the title tonight. Robert Kahn in the 21 and the 07 is Cindy Taylor. Kahn starts in the second spot. Cindy starts on the back half. We're racing here at Michigan. It's time to go at it and determine a champion. Hard out the charge, hard out of the gate. This is going to be a fuel, tire, and bat all-out driver's track. Only the best can figure this one out. And that's exactly what they're up to right now. Kahn staying towards the outside, going to try to steer clear, avoiding tire wear. But the only thing he needs to worry about, don't let the closer past him. Cindy Taylor will only need to get around Robert Kahn. Doesn't need to worry about anything else. Kahn needs to stay ahead of Taylor. They are literally dead even going into this race in points. No gimmicks, no playoff nonsense, no nothing. They literally, for this entire season, went back and forth, battling for position. At some points, Kahn took the advantage. At some points, Taylor had a huge run. But the way, the structure, and the way the points worked out, they were able to outmatch and outmaneuver each other, and now they have put this all on the line. And Cindy Taylor already making some jumps up to the front as we get a little 3-wide salute mixed in. Ooh, it's bigger than mixed in there a little bit. Jason Henry getting mixed up a little bit there with Kevin Baker in the 87. Well, I said there would be some bumping and banging going on, and well, it looks like Baker's already got that up to a T. And the 5, Chantel Bottle, not giving anything either. She knows she needs some points here. She needs to stay in that 3rd spot to finish out her season. Michael Hill coming down here saying, might have to make a comeback for next season. Well, Michael, I mean, just saying, if you want, you definitely can, my friend. We wouldn't mind having you back on the track if you're willing to join. At the offer, Robert Kahn and Chantel Bottle right now, all top 3. The OGs, if you will, of Pedal to the Metal Racing League, not just from the iRacing times from when we first started all those 7 seasons ago, but from NASCAR Heat when we started broadcasting. Those 3 were always the toughest and the baddest drivers to try to knock down and take off their totem poles and off their podiums. I've had the honor and privilege of facing all 3 of them, and they are just back and forth one another once again as Bottle looking to showcase a new wheel and her grip that she's got with it right up to the rear end of the 21. Bottle getting a good drive here on the back half with Robert Kahn right now trying to stay in that draft zone, also trying to keep the throttle away from doing anything too crazy. But the problem is, again, you got to worry about that 07 of Cindy Taylor marching back up to you. Fuel run's going to be extremely important, extremely tight on the edges here. It's going to make things very difficult when they get past these draft zones and have to figure out how to get into pit road. Once the tire wear goes in too, that also becomes a huge factor. So really, it's a perfect track for a Truck Series season finale because you got quite a few drivers. You got some drivers that know how to run a track like this. Then you have some awesome racing to coincide. And that's exactly what we're getting right now here as we are currently seeing the onboard camera here, the 84. Keith Taylor saying, let's go Cindy. Love for her sister from her brother. Keith trying to root on her sister to get her some run here. The closer though, staying behind Kevin Baker, maybe just trying to avoid burning the tires up too quickly. She knows Kahn is extremely good at tire wear and tire control, but Bottle right now is outsmarting the Rattlesnake here. This is the first time we've seen Bottle actually be able to do this all season round on a track of this magnitude and of this nature. It looks like maybe Bottle might have a slight edge on the Rattlesnake. Taylor, though, I guarantee you, she's just hiding in the wings, just waiting her turn. She doesn't want to reveal her hand too quickly. Bottle knows, though, if she can get this finish out in first today, she locks up the 3rd place position. That's all she really cares about. Remember, top 5 at the end of the season are receiving prizes and paid stuff here. So some of it comes from our very good sponsors here, of course, from our friends from like Next Level Racing with an FGT Lightning cockpit you may have been seeing on our commercials all this time around. Lightning Wrapz also presenting a wrap design up as well for the winner, and even the ButtKicker company allowing us to have some Gamer 2s to give out to our top 5. So whoever finishes in that top 5, then they may have a choice to get a ButtKicker Gamer 2. Of course, I want to say thank you again to our folks at Hubka, Realtor Estate, and even Ford Entertainment Group PC.net for their support and helping out this season. Those guys and gals back on their teams and their crews really helped us out all this time and really gave us a chance to really get something figured out. Without them and without all the love and support that the teams and the crews have been giving us, we would not have been able to do it. Baker backing off a little bit there on the 5. Chantel Pottle. I'm surprised he didn't try to bump her a little bit on that front straightaway. Maybe give her a little bit of a tag and get some more drive off. He could be a little bit worried about the fenders just getting a little bit too close together and actually hurting it more than actually would help him. Maybe a smart play or a bit of a dubious play. Kind of hard to tell right now anyway. Matthew Hoffert, though, in the Funko Pop 84. Right back on the verge of taking the Rattlesnake Rubber Con here. Don told me earlier today that Michigan is one of his favorite tracks to run at because it really suits his style. It's not a plate track, it's not a super speedway. He said it is really the design of the track and the design of the configuration that allows him to succeed and perform at such a high level and really showcase what his talents are and what his capabilities can be. 5 Bottle right now losing a lot of ground and time here as ButtKicker Next Level Racing Lightning Wrapz designed up Camo Beast has having some troubles. May have slipped a wall there, looks like. Yeah, there's some damage on that right side there, so it looks like she might have clipped the wall off turn number 2. Bike ride out last Monday night. Man, what a showcase for this guy here. The 76, after so many races, so many seasons, finally being able to pull off that win and pull off that W. He worked so hard for it and so much, and finally at Racing Super Speedway, he was able to not only be the 2nd Newfoundland driver to ever win here on PTM Racing TV, but he got it in such a unique form and manner. And speaking of a timely manner here, Robert Kahn, the same thing that the 5 struggled with earlier, gets right into the wall protection. Now the right side takes a good little nudge from it. Is there any damage there, though? Looks like a slight kink on the right rear corner panel. There it is, right there. You can see there is damage. However, does that damage enter through the turn and enter through the tires here? I think that's what the 07 and Cindy Taylor's hoping for. That's the first time we have seen Kahn make a mistake like that all season, and this is not the place to do it. Now again, though, there is a stage break at lap 30 that will help all drivers figure out their strategies, figure out how they want to play it out. But remember, they only get one fast repair, so if they use it, and that's going to be pretty much their death nail if they can't figure out how to work the rest of the field around. Taylor, though, staying back behind Baker, and Hoffert struggling to get to Kahn. Kahn currently is holding the field up a bit here, using that dirty air and using the dirty airflow around the truck, even though we've talked about how much that the way these things are shaped and the way they perform, they can actually just kind of push through that dirty air. That's not to say they don't get trapped in it still. Aerodynamically, they are very dependent here on this track and very much dependent on tire and how much wear and tear you deliver to them. And Taylor right now looking to wear off the field just a little bit now, hoping for a little bit more help. Diving it in deep and hoping for it to stick here, trying to get to that 84 of Hoffert. Hoffert, though, and the Rattlesnake Robert Kahn currently still holding the race lead. Again, it is early, though, but that's not to say this can't change or flip-flop around a little bit. Cindy Taylor back to the bottom. Hoffert kind of stabilizing the two, kind of being the referee between both of them. Hoffert has really nothing to lose here, honestly. He can go for either one of them and race them as hard as he likes. And I think, honestly, he's just kind of making it a little bit more interesting for both of them, keeping Cindy right behind Khan and keeping him right in that hunt. God knows, though, once he has to deal with the closer will deal with him as well. Remember, Cindy has got 2 championships to her name. One very much in this Truck Series division, and also the first one was from the very first season we ever came to iRacing. It was back in the Legends Series. She was able to take home that championship despite not winning a single race, but sheer consistency and sheer placement on the track helped her out and kept her season hopes alive. Khan was in the same boat this season, though. He did not have as many wins as we are used to seeing him put up. This season was more of a gravitational season, as I like to say. It's when he pretty much kind of found a little bit of the friction and the grip on certain tracks, whereas other tracks, he kind of struggled to keep up with the rest of the field in terms of placement and position. And then when the timing got lost, then he lost a little bit late. Cindy, though, fell into that kind of same rabbit hole a little bit late in the season. Remember last week, she almost placed dead last out on the field, costing herself a lot of time and a lot of ground. And she knew it too. So she had to go into this race knowing she was going to be tied with the Rattlesnake in a holds-barred battle for the win and for the championship. And now, after qualifying 7th, dead last in the field, she is now hard charging her way back to the front. Khan now has to deal with the power and the pressure from the closer. And pit stops, plenty pit stops to be made. Here they go in. Up, Offert though. Hold on. Woo, nice save there by the 84. Into the grassy plains, but brought it back. Did not power off and kept it under control. Very smooth driving by the Funko Pop 84. That will at least keep him out of trouble for the moment, that is. Chantal Pato already been at pit road. Did a little bit of damage still on that right side, but she doesn't care. She just takes the tires and the fuel and she's off. You get 3 sets of extra tires here to use, and you only get 50% of fuel, so fill that tanker up and get going, Khan. Well, judging by that pit stop, I would say he didn't even take tires. No, he took fuel. Yeah, man, Cindy Taylor both have taken fuel. No tires. Chantal Pato has taken all 4 sets of tires. We'll see if that now comes back to haunt the rest of the field, but she is a lap down. Or actually really close to it. Not a full lap down, I should say. She's only a half a lap down. But she's coming up quickly back around the field to catch up to the field here. Very bold move, very bold strategy to just to take all 4 tires and get fuel. And then for the front runners, no surprise not taking tires, but the fuel limits now are going to kind of show also just how much wear and tear these drivers took on their trucks, took on their tolls. Cindy, I thought honestly how far back she was taking a lot easier, being a lot more clever. But I could be very wrong. Maybe actually that she actually did tear up a little bit more equipment than she was hoping for on those tires. She can't get those, she has to get those treads, stay in control and stay in contact if she wants any chance though to stay with that rattlesnake, because that snake will just keep biting you off quicker than you know it, and you wouldn't even be able to get around to it quick anytime soon. Jason Henry right now currently in the number 3 square D machine. He is looking to get back at Kevin Baker for a little bit earlier on. Remember Baker and him kind of had a world meeting of the minds here earlier, and I don't think Henry was very happy about that. Baker right now coming up close, coming up fast. Henry right now in trouble of being Baker being passed here. Henry coming up. Down to the bottom he goes, trying to shorten the track off. That's where most of the moves will be made to see him come to the bottom. You see them go to the outside, they're generally trying to save a little bit more tire wear, trying to save a little bit more of those tires up. That's definitely not the case here for Henry right now. All he cares about is making that pass around Baker. No Fords in this field here, which is kind of depressing for me because I'm a Ford guy, but that's all right. So the Chevys right now and the Toyotas, though, kind of in a mixed match little spot here, except for Cindy Taylor, who's the only Chevy right now in the top half. But now it is another Chevy of Henry getting a drive off on Baker, taking full control. A good little pass and a good little move off down in the turn and takes around the track. Nice move there by Henry. But Baker doesn't exactly like that too much. He goes to the outside. He's going to go for the sink. He's going to go double filing him up again. Khan looks like he might be running away with the stage position here and maybe setting himself up for the big ending here. Baker drives it right up ahead of Henry, and yet again Henry's struggling to get the truck to corner off. Khan's lead starting to impress and starting to show, but this is what Cindy Taylor's up to right now. She's not giving up. There is no quit in the closer. We've mentioned that plenty of times before. With both drivers on a pretty good pit stop here, only time will tell if there's enough time for her to catch the Khan, and it looks like she might actually be doing so. You can see the time gap there. It is starting to wear and tear on Khan's reign. You know, 7 drivers also coming out here on the track, trying to come out here for a race today. Man, it's pretty impressive that these guys were able to come out here and put on a performance and put on a show, and at least do what they can for what they can get out of this place too. Gapping them up, selling them out. Right now, Cindy Taylor still behind the rattlesnake by a good margin of error here, but you can see the gap now is starting to wear. And remember, the stage break will put drivers back in place and back in performance. They knew going into this race that stage break was going to come, and it was going to be kind of a significant moment for them. Let's take a look at lap 25 here and see if there's any gain. No gain, except for Khan's run. His reign of terror, as he's put it before, and I've put it as well, is continuing. Chantal Pottle will definitely need to use that pit stop as well for the next stage break to have any chance to be back up with that top 5. She was in there, but in smashing that wall and in turn destroyed her truck up on the right side, and aerodynamically now has the properties of a dump truck. And that thing is not going to go any good if it's looking like that, or and also driving in that way. Believe me, I've tried to drive a dump truck on tracks like this. It doesn't really work that way. Jason Henry, though, the number 3 right now, currently the Square D number 3 Chevrolet, right up into the mix here, trying to take down Kevin Baker. Baker, give him credit where credit's due, folks. I mean, he's been known to pull up on apple turnovers here or there, and he's right now doing it here. He's not giving an inch. Right up on the charge, right up on the banking here. Baker is clearing the gap a little bit more. Henry, though, not giving an inch. give these two credit where credit's due. I mean, from pit road wise, they have been pretty much our only battle, and they've been the two that have been holding down the monarchy of what Pedal to the Metal Racing League usually brings to the table. Separating the field out, Mike Rideout has entered into pit road yet again, so it looks like he'll have to go for another pit stop. Probably will be put a lap down, unfortunately, though, due to that stop, and indeed he will be. The good news is he does get a lap back at least under that guidelines of the rules and regulations. Two drivers get a lap back, a lucky dog, and then one in the back behind the lucky dog gets their lap back. Since he's going to be only a lap down, though, he doesn't even have to worry about that very much. Santapalo, though, I guarantee you, probably a little bit happy, though, to take a few spots from him there. I don't think she'll complain. Right at, I think, looking at strategy and overall piecing here, is going to try to set that in. Jason Henry staying right into the mix here with Baker, though. These two still going at it as we're approaching the final legs of our break. And there it is, stage break out and done. Robert Kahn and Cindy Taylor literally separated out by about 2 seconds in the gap. But the thing is, we just finished the first part, and Taylor has a chance now to actually run up with the boys and take on the Rattlesnake. Can Kahn get another title and add to his illustrious career, or will the closer do what she is nicknamed for and take down the Rattlesnake? Find out when we return. The Season 7 Championship for Pedal to the Metal Racing League is brought to you in part by our good friends at Next Level Racing. Take racing to the next level. By the ButtKicker Company. Best time of performance for feeling real tracks of the virtual world. The ButtKicker. Feel what you've been missing. By Chris Hubka Real Estate Group. Looking for a perfect place to call home? Call up Chris Hubka and Hubka Real Estate Group to get yourself settled in today. By Ford Entertainment Group PC.net. Matching your want with your wallet, FEGPC.net will always work with your needs to build the best PC at the right price. And by Lightning Wrapz, the most affordable designs made at your leisure. Lightning Wrapz looks to bring out the best designs in your library. When you need the best designs in your fleet of vehicles, there's only one brand name that many trust in. One that makes every car pop out from the rest of the field, and that is Lightning Wrapz. Be sure to check us out on Facebook at Lightning Wrapz. Get yourself a vehicle unlike the rest. Lightning Wrapz, the most affordable designs made at your leisure.
Looking for a new PC or an upgrade to your current one? Look no further than Ford Entertainment Group, your home for the best quality and value in new, pre-built, and custom PCs at the lowest price guaranteed. We have affordable PC solutions for any budget, with custom builds starting at $595. Even the pros turn to Ford Entertainment Group to get them up and running. With valued customers from all over the world, it's easy to see why Ford Entertainment Group is the most trusted brand in custom PCs.
I wanted to save my awesome subscribers the most money when they started their sim racing journey. Well, I started trying to look for the best deals. And I'm so proud that Jeffrey and I have partnered up so I can spread the good news about where to get the lowest price on a high quality computer.
Feel confident when buying from us with the FEG Satisfaction Guarantee. Get yourself on track today by visiting us online at FEGPC.net.
With the ButtKicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. ButtKicker. The future is feeling.
here at PTM Racing TV. Right now, currently live at Michigan International Speedway. The Michigan 80 has already wielded us a few wild segments and some pretty crazy little minutes in between the first 10 laps or so. From there, things got a little bit spread out as drivers started to fade and fall. The two front runners, though, for the season championship, Cindy Taylor in the 07 and the 21, the Rattlesnake, Robert Kahn, back and forth with each other, trying to find ourselves a champion. They are dead even in points going into this race. Only one can come out on top, and the green flag flies. We still got a race to finish. From pit road, Cindy Taylor was able to get the 07 put into the top spot, but she has to deal now with the 84 Matthew Hoffert, the same driver who was given the 21 and the 5 some troubles earlier on. And even Kevin Baker kind of mixing it up ahead right now, putting himself right into the horseshoe and into the fight. Looks like he wants to put a horse in this race, and looks like he wants to find some other angles. Almost driving it right into there with the 07. Cindy Taylor backing down and getting out of that way. The 5 and the 87 moving it up 3 wide off the gap, and now Baker has the lead. The closer getting trapped in traffic. This could get a little interesting here. She knows she cannot get too much ground up though, because the Rattlesnake, if he takes that lead away, he can start to run from him. The 5 of Bottle though, crossing it over. Look at this, some impressive drafting and some impressive maneuvering off into the distance. Baker got a little bit of a draft there from the throttle Shinto Bottle, and Bottle taking the lead away now this lap. We've had literally 4 or 5 lead changes alone just in these first couple of laps or so, and they have been flip-flopping and crisscrossing and all that. No driver has been safe, or no driver has the advantage. Bottle now going to try to run the middle lane, trying to stay in the rubbered ends. Trying to stay where the sticky stuff is, where the grip is. Cindy Taylor, though, look at how far she's falling back. That might not be a smart move here, Cindy. Remember what happened last time. The Rattlesnake was able to outget you there. If I was her, I would be pushing this thing a little bit harder, and at least trying to keep it somewhat closer. I would not try to rely on luck or any tricks here from the other drivers. Right now, Bottle could care less about Kahn and Cindy's run. She only cares about getting that top 3 final spot. A win here would seal it for her, and she knows that means a lot. Kahn, again, doesn't need to worry about the 5. He just needs to worry about staying out of trouble with that 07 back there. Kevin Baker, though, the 87 and Jason Henry 3, they're in a bit of a dog horn shoot for that top 5 as well, Mike Radow included. But Mike, earlier on in this first stage, he wasn't really trying to put too much effort, too much drive in there. I think he was just trying to get a feel of the truck. Now all of a sudden, he is starting to come alive here. Bit of a change in scenery, a bit of a change in the gap zone. Maybe exactly what he wants to know. Baker, though, right now, the way he's driving, I guarantee you, those tires on that right front is already taking a beating. Remember, Henry was already giving him issues earlier. If Baker's not careful, that right front's going to take a lot more than just a beating. It's going to give him a lot of trouble down that road. Big trouble down that road. Hoffert earlier on, he crashed up and sent the packed outhouse, looking down to get to the White House. He got really thrown for a little curveball earlier, and I don't think that's what he wanted to see by any means. Downboard camera here as well, just gives you guys a good idea of how much turning and steering you got to put these things to work with. To the average fan, the average viewer at home, this may not look like much, but let me put you into consideration for a second. How much steering that he's doing right now with that little movement, it's about how much steering I would put into my normal day-to-day car by turning in a 180 almost into a 140 degree angle turn. Not a full 180, but almost like a 140 degree. The amount of effort and work you have to do just to do that, and also not burn your tires up, that's a lot of burn and wear that the tires are feeling just by doing that move. That's why I say, literally, it's like turning a 140 degree turn. It is turning into the tires, turn more into the truck, because all that weight and all that transfer, it has to go somewhere. And that's exactly what they're dealing with right now. Well, I said earlier on, before we get to this halfway point, Baker was burned the right front tire up by driving as hard as he was, but I guess he wants to try to make a monkey out of me. He's currently right in the mix, or right in the hunt there with the throttle shift up bottle and the rattlesnake rubber con. Bottle staying towards the outside though. She's only trying to turn the truck in as much as she absolutely has to. Baker and Con really trying to follow her line. And again, the problem though is that with where Pottle's at, she's lining these guys up for a slingshot pass. That's what these 2 mile long tracks are usually all about, is delivering the slingshots. Same thing with Pocono. You get around a corner just well and you get enough speed built up, you can throw a huge slingshot entering into a turn and end up forcing their run off. Michigan's been very similar to that, been very well known for that kind of case. And of course, as well, for those before they ask me about this one, yes, this is the newer updated model of Michigan. This is not Legacy Michigan. This was before the remodel and before the repave. This is after that repave. This track has been dialed up and hosted up quite a few races, and of course, many fans have kind of questioned how well this track would last on the actual Cup Series schedule, much as any of the other series schedules. I would say, at least with this Cup race, that next-gen Cup car is kind of proven. Unless your name's Texas Speedway, you're pretty much golden on having a decent to really good race. Michigan kind of proved that this go-around as well, which definitely makes for another showing. But we know Michigan as well to be one of the best places for the Truck Series, as well as Xfinity and Cup when it came to NASCAR Heat. Xfinity and Truck, in my opinion, were some of the toughest and the best races that came out of this place. I still remember the battles and wars I went through in my season championship hunt when it came to having a few guys like Jeffrey Oaks, Matthew Hoffert, and even a guy by the name of JR, Nick Shepard. I had a good run with him and a good battle off with him for the longest time, and Oaksy as well, here at this track, very same speedway before the championship race came at Homestead Miami Speedway. It was an absolute pleasure and honor to be battling those guys those days. Times have changed though, and times certainly have been a bit different since then. Of course, iRacing has kind of nullified anything we learned from NASCAR Heat. I'll tell you that much for free. Right now though, I am going to be pretty honest and surprised about this. I know we went back to green about 7 laps ago, but so far the 5 Chantel Bottle and the Rattlesnake Robert Crown 21, both drivers have been pretty stable, pretty consistent here. Neither one trying to giving the other any room to take a pass here. Bottle is defending her line though. You can see her drifting high, drifting low, blocking the run, blocking the corner. Khan's kind of forced into a very unique scenario where he's either going to have to overdrive her or overtake her. Knowing how Khan is, I don't think he really wants to go with the latter of the two. I think he's more or less going to try to wait for an opening here on that throttle. But keeps getting blocked off, keeps getting defended here by Khan, and neither one able to take full advantage of it. Cindy Taylor in the 07 right now is just laying back low. Again, earlier on, she was doing the same exact strategy. Feeling like maybe she kind of may have a horse in this fight here. She's just trying to find some extra grip and some extra drive here. Considering how this track is, this is not really her style though. Usually she's really good, in my opinion, on the 1.5 miles, like Kentucky, Kansas especially. And even I'd throw her probably in the hunt with Texas Speedway. She's really good on those tracks and really good on setting her truck up for those kind of races and even plate tracks. But with a track like this and even Auto Club Speedway, it seems like she struggles more often than not. So maybe when she went into this race, she studied how much fuel was in there and how much the tire wear could take, and in turn also was kind of hoping for some draft and for some help from the drivers that stay in the back here. Well, she got half of that here, right? Because Mike Rideout, Kevin Baker, and Jason Henry all stayed in the back in there. Been kind of stabilizing down. Baker, after getting that wall protection though, has now slowed up a bit here for the NASA 07 to start making some moves here and make some runs, but she still stays low and stays out of trouble. Bottle and Khan pretty much dead even with one another. Khan still looking to get something going on that 5, but you can see again, She continues to block his run and block that drive off, keep the dirty air right in front of him. So even if Con wanted to make a pass, doesn't really have very much room in the way to do it. Bottle right now, you can see the way she's coming off those corners too, the way she's kind of maneuvering around the track. She's currently starting to feel some fade, some drive off there. Con's still trying not to turn too much in, trying to use the tires up too much. But it is coming through, and it is starting to show. That is for certain here. Back on board here with Baker right now. Currently, as you see, 07 City Taylor still looking for somewhere to pass, somewhere to go. Again, in Michigan, it's getting pretty difficult right now. If you didn't make a pass off that start, then you were kind of left behind, high and dry. Even Jason Henry here coming up through the rank here. Look at this, the 3 of Henry. Backed into a corner here, and now throwing back a little bit. He actually got passed by Baker, and now he's getting passed by Taylor. Henry, a little bit of trouble off turn 2, costing him dearly, and he loses all that ground and grip there. And down the 07 is Cindy Taylor, able to take full control. But again, remember what I said earlier about waiting way too long and not staying closer to the field. This is what I was talking about. This was the concern for that 07. Again, you're driving a 550 horsepower package truck, and you got a track that has aerodynamic properties that of a dump truck. If you lose it, you do not want to lose the draft, and you do not want to lose speed. You want to try and stay in that top half as long as possible and use your fuel runs to your advantage. And it looks like everybody's going into pit road now, so it's now a matter of pit stops and timing. They'll head in. Mike Rideout stays out. He's already gone into pit road. So now comes the tricky part. Which driver gets in and out of pit road the best? Con will enter in first. Pottle got past there off the corner there. That will definitely cost her some time. We'll see if Con can hang in there. Hoffert pulls into pit road as well. Cindy Taylor is in. She's going to take all 4 sets of tires. Oh, no, wait a minute. She's not. She's going to only do fuel. She's going just fuel here, folks. Look at this. She's going to try to get a jump on him 6 seconds ahead, but is that going to be enough here? This is a bold strategy by the closer. We're halfway into the run. They're going to have time for maybe one more pit stop, and that's it. This is a very, very big risk she's taking here. Con's already gained ground on her, and she knows it too. This might not have been a smart move. Con's coming fast, coming quick. On the outside, one time around, and now the rattlesnake. Fresh tires, no trouble. Pass on the outside, and a clear-cut move by on the closer. Now Cindy has to go on offense. She was often be on defense for a second. Now she's got to try to play the offensive move. Remember, it doesn't matter where these two finish. It doesn't matter where these two are at from the other drivers. They're ahead or behind. They need to be ahead of one another to secure the title. They're the only two that can go for the championship. That move by Cindy Taylor, I mean, I'm a little bit stunned. I don't know if that was maybe the best move for her. I said earlier, and I'll say it again, I think really she should just try to keep it as close as possible the entire run there with the rattlesnake, and then later on, then try to figure out a way to save a little bit more tire by staying in his draft zone, same way you saw him with Potto earlier. But again, when even Con was going for a pass on 5, he just could not get anything going. So you gotta wonder yourself, was that the case? Did she think about that and think maybe I cannot get around him if I stay in the draft, so I just gotta find another way to take him down? I'm not certain and I'm not sure, but that's a very, very bold move and strategy. I'll tell you that much for free. Well, right now here, Mike Rideout, we saw just a minute ago, currently moving back into the top 5 bracket. Hoffer and Baker separating themselves out a bit. Hoffer this season, man, has just not been able to really get a break, much less catch a break. He's had wins. He's been in that shoe before and had plenty of times to take full control, but I mean, the problem is, I think he just needs to figure out is how not to tear up those tires and figure out how to also kind of stay in control of his own destinies here. Cindy Taylor, the 07, remember, she's on burnt tires right now. She's falling further and further back. Con earlier on went with just fuel, and that was kind of his strategy. Pottle did all 4 tires and fuel to get a chance to go for the run later, and she did exactly that. She took all 4 tires, and at the pit stop, she's down to 1 more set of tires she can use. Jason Henry in the 3 right now, currently sticking with the 5 and sticking with that position. I'm not sure if Cindy's looking for a caution or maybe she's looking for some help here, but I don't know if she's going to get it. Hoffer and Baker having a great battle. Henry and Pottle having a nice little battle as well. You got two major drivers battling it for position, battling for the ranks here. And even mixed in right now here, Mike Rideout wants to make it a 3-way battle here. Now mixes it up with the closer. Rideout putting some performance in that MRM Chevrolet. Here he comes on the bottom and taking full control. Can't count out one of the Newfoundland drivers. He's one of them there, and he is putting up a fight, putting on a bracket shot there. The steady 6 clears the gap, and now Taylor pushed back 1 spot, pushed back 1 leg here. Nowhere to go for him. Every driver for themselves, every driver in this spot, in this community, just going for what they can. Kevin Baker in the 87 starting to falter more as they go. Knows this is not exactly what he was hoping for or what he wanted to see. Cindy Taylor hoping for a break, although she's having some more troubles down there. She's got glitch graphic gremlin issues. The 07 now having some problems. And I think she is starting to feel the pressure. The championship might just be slipping that much further away. Tires burnt and even struggling to keep the truck online. This is not what the closer wants to see. She needs help, and she needs a lot of it, because Khan is starting to be a mad dash man to victory here. And he doesn't even need to take tires. He can just take right sides and fuel, and he'd be fine. If he just took fuel, he'd be fine. Cindy would need to take all 4s. I mean, I get that, again, she was trying to play something different or trying to do something creative, but I just kind of question, though, you know, whether or not it was truly worth trying to play that risk. That's where I'm really trying to figure out where was the ideals there? Where was logistically, where was the move going to be made? Because unfortunately, I think she just kind of felt the pressure and knew that she was going to have to make a run around Khan. Again, there's still 21 laps left, and it was one thing we learned here on PTM Racing TV and motorsports in general. Anything's possible and anything can happen, and you wouldn't even know it. Field is starting to separate out more as we go and more around the track here. Everybody's starting to get their own little ideals and spots put up. Matthew Hoffert's still trying to go at it there with the 87 of Kevin Baker, not giving him too much there. Fields gapped off. Moore and Kahn just absolutely tearing these guys a new one right now, just separating the field more as they go. Just nothing left they can really do here. About 3 seconds ahead right now, 9 seconds ahead of the closer. And Henry and Pottle, you know, they're putting on one last little show. Baker and Hoffer trying to put on one last little show. Everybody not giving in and not giving up. And Pottle with a drive on the outside. She has taken the drive off and taken a pass on the threes book. That was pretty much one of the biggest moves they had to pull up there and try to get as much as they could. They knew they had to do something. They had to do it quickly. Well, she was able to figure it out and get it dialed in. Now, just starting to close up even further. Gap starting to take out a further ahead. Cindy Taylor has now thrown herself to the wire and thrown herself to the walls, and she had to take all the fuel she could. She knew she was in trouble there. She just took fuel and went. She only took right side tires with it. Kahn is in pit road. If Taylor has any chance, any hope, she needs these right sets to just dig into this track. There's still some room, but she's got to travel over 1.5 miles now just to get back to Kahn. Depending on what Kahn does here, that will tell the tale. He's in pit road. Right sides are going up. That's right side tires there. Will he take lefts? He's going to take left side, so he's going to go for it here. Fuel in, and he's off, and he's still ahead of the closer. Cindy is desperately trying to hurry up. I don't think she's enough time. That's not enough time. Kahn's already getting it going here. She's just now entering in turn 1 and 2. She'll get around Hoffer, but Kahn is back to full speed, back to full pace. She needs to get his draft. There's the gap difference between the two. And there's not enough time, I'm telling you. Kahn's already got him. Kahn has already got her. That is 7.5 second difference, and it's just going to continue to grow. 12 laps remain. This is absolutely heartbreaking for the closer, Cindy Taylor. She had done so much for this season, so much work, only to get derailed in the last race of the season by, I really would just say, an unfortunate pit stop maneuver and just unfortunately bad luck on her end. She only had a couple of chances and thought maybe there was a little bit of something she could do to take down Khan, but the rattlesnake just frankly outsmarted her this time. And now, with 11 laps left to go, Khan just needs to keep punching laps in. He's got nothing left to lose. Jason Henry, though, hanging into that second spot, though. You gotta give credit where credit's due. Henry has been in these seasons, he's been in these races all this time. He has never held back or never held off from coming out here and putting on a battle, putting on a show with the fans and the crew. And that's one thing we always got to respect him and love him for as well. The fact that he just never gave in and never quit. Came out and he would put on a little bit of a fight, a little bit of a battle down here. Much credit and love to him without a doubt. Well, the gap switched around again, Henry. I mean, I said earlier he was going to fight hard. He was going to fight for a drive. I didn't say he was going to be able to hold back, though, when he had to deal with some company coming to him. Bottle with the spot here. No matter what happens, she will lock up the third spot here in the position and points. So she'll have a top 5 finish and go third in it. Much needed for the throttle. After winning a season championship stake in the Pushing Limits Racing League, she could certainly go with having this one to her name. And again, Cindy Taylor will still, if it goes this way and finishes out now, she will still be your second place finisher overall in the season. I just think maybe she was hoping for that win overall. I think that's really what she was after. Mike Rideout and Kevin Baker, though, man, give credit where credit's due to these guys. They came out here every time they could, and they came out here to at least try to put on a battle, put on a show, and they never quit. They never gave up. They always had redeeming qualities to them, and they always had a lot of fight and heart to them, and that is the soul of Pedal to the Metal Racing League, is that drive and that will to never give in or quit. These guys deserve a lot of love and respect for that. Hopper right now just trying to finish the season out on a high note. Maybe looking to get up there to Jason Henry in the 3. Not quite sure how far off that will be for this case or how far it will go. Keith Taylor saying, great job, Robert Kahn. Giving him the old fire thumbs, little fist bump and the 100 and checker flag and all that. But he still hasn't finished the race yet, J.O. Taylor. He still has 6 laps though, but he's getting closer to that. There's a couple more laps remain. 5 now. We'll turn to 4 to go. Race fans, this has been a wild 12 weeks of racing. Pushing limits, putting on an impressive season championship stake performance. Pedal to the Metal Racing League with what they had as well gave us quite the show and quite the surprise on some positions and performances we were not expecting. It's all led up to this final battle, this final heated contest. Going in, Michigan International Speedway was going to be a very challenging place, and it was going to be a very tough place to master. We got that and then some. Field just continuing to wrap up. Offered having a nice little top 5 performance here. Jason Henry and Chantal Bottle, each of them having their own little stake in the sun. Just having a good time really performing out here. But once again, another season, another hard drive, and that Freightliner 21 Toyota Tundra gets to see what he always wants to see, what he craves to see every time he comes out. A white flag high in the air. One more lap remains. And Season 7 closes with the Michigan 80. Presented by Lighting Wrapz. Your white flag is out. Just 2 more solid turns is all this 21 needs. He played the hands close. He played the cards right. And after 3 and 4 turns of this final lap, the last remaining piece to the puzzle comes in the form of a checkered flag. The Rattlesnake Rubber Con is your Season 7 champion here in Pedal to the Metal Racing League. A championship win for Khan added to his illustrious resume. Multiple titles, multiple victories, multiple trophies, and another huge win for him and his crew. They took it all on the line. Kevin Baker saying, great race, it was fun. It was indeed. And I believe Khan probably is going to be the most satisfied person right now. Gonna try to give us a famous Freightliner burnout here. Here he goes. There it is. Parks it down. Michigan's on their feet. They are giving their standing ovation to the Season 7 champion. The Rattlesnake takes home another one. Just continuing his pure presence and dominance as a champion stake driver. Probably gonna end up burning the gas mileage off on that thing by the time he's done with it. Well, nevertheless, still race fans, here is your final results now on your screen. To close out the season, the Rattlesnake Robert Kahn will be the champion. Chantal Pato will take the third in points, but second today. Henry, I believe, will be near in that top 5 category with a third place finish. Matthew Hoffert getting another solid season in, another top 5, goes fourth. Cindy Taylor will finish second in the points. just barely eked out by the Rattlesnake, but she does have a top 5 for her troubles at Michigan. Rideout and Baker will finish 6th and 7th, holding the torch for our Next Level Racing final results. When we come back, we will chat with the top 3 drivers and see how they felt about this one to the end.
When you need the best designs in your fleet of vehicles, there's only one brand name that many trust in. One that makes every car pop out from the rest of the field, and that is Lightning Wrapz. Be sure to check us out on Facebook at Lightning Wrapz to get yourself a vehicle unlike the rest. Lightning Wrapz, the most affordable designs made at your leisure.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, live here on PTM Racing TV. After a huge performance in race, our top 3 join us, and then the big 3 himself, Jason Henry in the Square D Chevrolet, joins us. And Henry, congratulations on another 3rd place finish, sir, and another podium get. This one was pretty much a story of survival on tires and fuel run, and Michigan definitely did that again to you, sir.
It did. Michigan's always a fun track to be at. I think you talked about it some in the broadcast. And it started shaky with a little bit of contact with Kevin, and then once I got it fixed up, it was ready to go to the front.
It was ready to go to the front. You even had yourself quite a few battles in between there with everything that played out in performance and around the drive. I mean, how crazy did it get there for you when you started to really chase down and even have to deal with the throttle Chantel Pottle a few times there?
It got pretty crazy at times. We were trying to work together to get to Con, and we just couldn't get there. And then I got super loose, and I was afraid I was going to take her out and mess up her points day.
Well, in this case, it didn't quite do that, and thankfully it kept everything in one piece and pretty chill on the spot. So, but with that said, Stone here, this is the final race of the season and a final podium for you, sir. Who do you want to thank for all that?
I want to thank you for putting on such a great race with the broadcast, all the admins that run it, and all of our great sponsors, ButtKicker, Lightning Wrapz, Next Level Racing. It's been a fun season. I was glad to end it almost as good as I started it.
Certainly there indeed, Henry. Well deserved and well earned, sir. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Jason Henry, ladies and gentlemen, taking away a solid 3rd place spot. 2nd on the list, though, you got to give the nod to the lady, Chantel, the Throttle Pottle. She takes home a 2nd place finish. Chantel, congratulations on that. I know you've already taken home a season championship with that one in Pushing Limits, but hey, the 2nd place spot here in the Pedal Mill Racing League final race definitely got to be worth the time and effort.
Yeah, for sure.
So, with the way that the truck was handling and starting to kind of sway off on the tire, how bad do you think it was kind of getting there, just to even try to make a run for some of these guys?
It wasn't too bad, actually. Just managing it was the main thing.
It was the main thing, and it ended up working out A-okay. So, with all that done, though, and this one closing out with a 2nd place finish, and I believe 3rd in the points get, finally, who do you want to thank you for all this today?
Everyone at PTM Racing TV and all of our sponsors for pushing limits. Not pushing, sorry. Pedal to the Metal Racing League.
Alright, well, nevertheless here, definitely a big win and a big spot here for you and the crew in Pedal to Metal Racing League. Congratulations, Chantel. A very long season, but well worth the run, the risk.
Thanks.
The Throttle Chantel Pottle comes away here as your 2nd place finisher, but the champion crowned is the one and only Rattlesnake. Robert Kahn, the 21, brings home another victory. And Kahn, what a wild day this was. It seemed like you were going to have company multiple times and some drivers definitely making it pretty interesting for you, but at the end of the day, you still come away as the champion of it all.
Yeah, appreciate it. Want to congratulate Cindy and Pottles on 2nd and 3rd and points too. I mean, that was a great season. It was a tight battle between the top 3. I think anyone could have won, but it was a great race. I liked it, but you know, the only thing I know Cindy had made a mistake on pit road, and I really didn't want to win it that way. I wanted it to be like heads up and swapping back for the lead. So, I mean, congratulations to her for 2nd and everything, but I hate to win it that way, but I'll take it. I mean, don't get me wrong.
I mean, there's definitely times where you just know it's going to be going your way, and there's times you know that it goes another way. But, I mean, Con, you had pretty much this track dialed in from the get-go once you came on the track, came on the speedway here. But you did have company a little bit too, though, with Pottle, Hofford, even Henry and Baker kind of making things a little more interesting besides just Taylor. Did any time you feel like
Oh
maybe
yeah,
they
for
were going to
sure. I
be
mean, it was hard. Sorry, I didn't. My phone
no,
cut
go.
out.
No, go on.
um, it was hard to pull from anybody. I mean, unless you got a big lead, I think the main thing in the strategy was getting on and off pit road is really quick because that really gained it on the track. You just stay pretty much at the same intervals, but yeah, everyone was really strong that race. I was pretty nervous getting into it, and then when we got there, everyone was really fast. So
For sure there. Well, nevertheless, though, Con, as you take away the championship and another title added to your resume and crew, who do you want to thank for this?
all the sponsors involved, Lightning Wrapz, ButtKicker, um, everyone who contributes to the league. I really appreciate everyone, including you.
For sure there. Well, nevertheless, here a big victory and a big win. Nevertheless, congratulations on all this today, Con.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, your season champion is the Rattlesnake, Robert Kahn, to close out this race and this season. It was a long road, 12 weeks, and a lot of heartbreak and a lot of battles. Those that stayed to the end gave it their heart and their soul, and we can't thank them enough, nor the people, our sponsors as well, Next Level Racing, the ButtKicker Company, Chris Hubka Real Estate Group, Ford Entertainment Group, PC.net, and Lightning Wrapz, and all the fans out there. Once again, from the bottom of our hearts, we thank you. We appreciate you for always staying with us, for always tuning in, for coming out to these shows, and coming to the track, and coming to watch us in the racing. You could have spent your Saturday night doing anything else, or Sunday nights doing anything else, but without a doubt, we appreciate you for all you've done. Thank you so much. One last race call Tuesday night. We'll see you guys soon enough.